Hello, everyone. Welcome to my second solo episode. Today, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to address our last post on Instagram and our somewhat inconsistent scheduling of episode releases. So, our last post on Instagram is a quote that says, "Sometimes I just don't feel like it, period. And while this may seem downright counterproductive, I understand that this emotion is a vital part of my progression." So basically, I want to discuss burnout. And for a long time, burnout has been somewhat glorified in our society. The busier you are, the more important you are, or the more important you seem or look. And that concept has really been ingrained into most of us. But burnout is really not cute, and it often disrupts several of our body systems and not in a very good way. Burnout is different from stress, and although it can stem from chronic stress, the biggest difference between stress and burnout is dissociation. Symptoms of burnout include irritability and chronic fatigue, but let's look at it from a spiritual aspect. This is healing in Gemini after all. The biggest concern on the spiritual aspect is the dissociation. It causes a sense of detachment not only to others but to ourselves. It causes anxiety and it manifests a sense of purposelessness. Everyone here has a purpose, and it is definitely not to be burned out. Burnout can come from all aspects of life, including work, school, relationships, family members, and it's important to carve out time for you to ensure you are not experiencing burnout. Last year, I took a very big leap of faith and I quit my high-paying job due to burnout. And when I say I was burnt out, it was just like on such another level. I was on call 24/7. I was being reached via WhatsApp, via text messages, emails, IT tickets. It was literally so insane. And I really did not have a second to myself. And I was always on the go. I was always trying to figure out like how to solve the problem. And even if the problem couldn't be solved, how to get back to the person and just communicate that. It was a never ending like line of stress. I was chronically stressed. And towards the end of me working there, I was checked the fuck out. Like, I literally would just show up to work, like, really just to show my face and collect my check. I did not care if the problem got solved. I didn't care about the people there for the most part. It was a complete dissociation, and I felt like I was just like I was physically there, but my mind was somewhere else completely, and it was in a very, very like dark and miserable place. It was horrible. And I realized that I was burnt out when I had a full-blown panic attack. And my panic attack happened when I was at home, which is like the least stressful place for me. And I was on the floor of my bedroom and I was petting my dog, which is one of the most relaxing things for me because I'm just experiencing like that unconditional bond with him and that love. And I started to hyperventilate, and my husband had to come in. He had to hold me. I felt like I was gonna pass out. And after having that panic attack, I really realized that no job or place or like really anything is worth that feeling. That feeling is absolutely horrible. And I decided to leave. And even though it was one of the scariest things I've ever done in life, I didn't have another job lined up. I Even those jobs that like I ended up getting afterwards, it was a significant pay cut. It was very scary. The economy, it was just a scary time. But looking back at it, just knowing that now I don't feel burnt out, I would never want to go back to a situation where I do feel burnt out. And like even with work, especially at work, and I know a lot of people have endured this type of feeling, you feel almost replaceable. So it's like you do more work to compensate for your boss and just be like, look, I am a good employee. I am worthy. Look at all the work I can do. But really, what does that reward us with? We're burnt out. We're stressed when we get home. We take it out on our loved ones. And then, like, what did we accomplish? We're not getting, most of the time, we're not getting that raise at the end of the year. We're just getting like a damn pizza party or like cupcakes. And it's really like, why put yourself through that, you know? And this is why self care is so crucial. Practicing mindfulness, such as meditation, is so important. Silencing of the mind, getting that clarity we definitely need. I personally like to journal. It allows me to get all of my thoughts out of my head and just onto paper so I could release it. But, not everyone's self-care looks the same. So it's really asking yourself, like, what does self-care look like for me? What makes me feel comfortable? What makes me feel relaxed? And that's really what we have to focus on. Self-care could be as simple as, you take yourself out for ice cream at the end of the day, or like my type of self-care, which is going on vacation. I love going on vacation. But it doesn't have to be something so extreme either. Self-care could just really be like you taking a warm bath at the end of the day, just letting it all go. We have to ensure that we're really putting us first. You have to be your priority because nothing else really matters. And while doing a little bit of research on burning out, there was something interesting that I came across, and it's called the 42% rule. It was created by Emily and Amelia. And I didn't write down their last name because that's totally something I would do, but bear with me because I'm going to get it for everyone. And it's in their book. Funny enough, their book is called Burnout. And their last name is, of course, I'm not finding it. Okay. Their last name is Nagoski, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it's basically the rule that states our bodies need 42% of our time within the day to rest. Now, this does not mean sleep. It just means anything that allows our mind to rest. So it's socializing, exercising, being in nature, reading, eating a good meal, watching a good show. And that 42% of the time of your day calculates into 10 hours of your day, which in our society it's kind of hard because if you're sleeping for 8 hours, that only leaves you with 2 hours. So it's a little like, But that's why this is so important, because it shouldn't be like this. We shouldn't have this feeling of, I only have 2 hours, because that causes anxiety, which just leads to more burnout. We really have to carve out the time for ourselves. I know that can be tough. Life is really complex. I'm sorry. I don't know how to speak today. It's complex and can be complicated, but we should still be proactive and like really prioritize ourselves. Our mental health is so important, and we really have to prioritize that, because without it, we're kind of just like puppets and we're just going through the motions of our day, and that's really not what life should be. We should really be enjoying it. And that is my end rant for burnout. And I really, really thank you for listening to me. And I really hope this can help someone. Please don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Healing in Gemini. And Shell will be back next week where we will discuss toxic positivity. And Shell also wanted me to just apologize on her behalf for not getting to publish an episode last week, but honestly, we have nothing to be sorry for. This is something that we're doing because we love it, and we just don't want to make it something that we end up hating at the end of the day. So we really want to produce good episodes for you guys, and we want you to enjoy what we have to say. So we really are focusing on ourselves as well, which we hope you will too. And we love you.